Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Business Podcast, your source for all things business. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Jonathan Weimer on the line. He's founder and owner over at Highlands Sport and Spine. Jonathan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on, Adam.
All right, so I'm excited about today's topic. So eliminating pain through really empowering movement. And a lot of business owners, a lot of executives, a lot of entrepreneurs listening. And let's just say some of us sometimes don't do what we're supposed to do health-wise, myself included. So I'm excited to get into this with you. But before we do, let's tell us a little bit more about what you're doing over at Highlands Sport and Spine. Tell us a little bit more about the practice, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I founded Highlands Sport and Spine 7 years ago with the goal of empowering movement and allowing people to move pain-free and do whatever it is that they want to do, really. So we've really evolved over the last 7 years and have adopted an integrative healthcare model, so a multidisciplinary approach where we utilize chiropractic, PT, acupuncture, massage, personal and performance training to get people moving, get them out of pain, or really improve their athletic performance. So we have a fun client base that we're able to work with.
I think number one, that's a great transition. So I do want to go further into what empowering movement means, and let's start there. So tell us a little bit more about what empowering movement means.
Yeah, absolutely. Movement is medicine, really. Most of the pain patterns, I would say, that we see that are not traumatic injury related are usually related to prolonged periods of static postures. So whether you sit all day, you stand all day, you're stocking shelves, it doesn't really matter what it is. Our body kind of adapts to those repetitive movements or repetitive postures. So a lot of what we do is unwind the body, so to speak. So whether we're using chiropractic or acupuncture or massage, we're doing some hands-on treatment to free up some of those tight connective tissues and allow people to move more effectively and more efficiently. And then on the other side of things, we're very proactive in movement-based education and movement-based therapy. So a lot of corrective exercises, home physical therapy, performance training in the office, that when we target the soft tissues, we target the joints, we get people moving better, pain's going to go away almost automatically on its own within a short period of time. But then we can strengthen people up, get them moving more effectively, and let them live that quality of life that they're really seeking.
Tell me a little bit more about the importance of that integrated health approach of doing more than one thing, because I think that's a really important thing that not everybody even knows exists.
I would say it's a newer paradigm shift within healthcare where we see a lot of these chronic health conditions that are very apparent right now with COVID going on and seeing the death rates for people that have these chronic conditions. What they're really finding is there's not the silver bullet for everything. You can't just throw a pill on it and mask some symptoms and expect them to go away. You've got to address the body at several different entry points. So whether that's hands-on touch with chiropractic, manual therapy, acupuncture, that's one method. Another method is integrating movement and, really treating the body as a whole as opposed to segmenting everything off. So we try to enter the body, if you will, in a few different ways to accomplish that goal. And they're really starting to show that for these chronic pain issues, you have to have a multidisciplinary approach to achieve those long-term changes that people really need to see.
What do you find, what do you find are some of the common issues that people have with creating this more active lifestyle, or like getting out of this habit and kind of moving into this more movement-based lifestyle? I mean, what are some of the things that you're noticing?
Well, I think a big thing in the workplace is we're stuck sitting in front of a computer for most people's jobs, especially now. They're sitting at home on the couch working, and now it's like, holy moly, I can't do anything now without having a little bit of neck or back pain because they're sitting in a different workplace environment, but they still have to work and can't necessarily get up and move around. So I think that's the biggest thing that we try to preach to people, that are in that office setting is getting up and moving around, even if it's just once an hour, stand up, do a little bit of breathing, walk around the office. Just giving yourself those micro breaks throughout the day can really go a long way without really having to make wholesale changes. But we know long term, if you want to see physical development, you have to be consistent and you have to continue to follow a course of action to see some of those long-term changes.
What are some what would you say is the low-hanging fruit here? So there's a lot of people listening right now that maybe have been putting some of these things off, and what would you say is the low-hanging fruit for them to start moving in the direction of where they need to be?
I would say the two easiest things that literally everyone could do every day, and it doesn't matter really where you're at, is you could focus on your breathing. You could focus on even just walking. So two really simple things that people might not think of as exercise, but throughout the day during the workplace, you could turn them into some micro breaks and some mini exercises that can help alleviate tension and pain throughout the day. So I think that's the easiest shift, and that's what we coach a lot of our patients to do originally or initially within a treatment session, is just become aware of their body a bit more, tune into the breath, and try to add in just some light movement throughout the day. And that honestly goes a long way with a lot of people that aren't used to moving a whole lot.
Man, I can't. So true story. I was about to chime in and say, yeah, I wear my Fitbit, and I looked, and then I was like, my Fitbit's been in my desk for like a month. I haven't had it on. So now that I just called myself out there, any tips on building the habit? Any tips on building a habit there? Because this is the thing. When I have my stupid Fitbit on, I do it. When I don't, I feel like I'm not doing it. So any tips on your end?
Yeah, I mean, even something as simple. So if you're using a little calendar, whether it's your Google, Outlook, whatever, set a reminder a few times a day to breathe or move. Or if you have the Fitbit, you can set those reminders on there as well. And you get the buzz, look down, says breathe. Cool. I'm going to spend 10 seconds and go through a couple of deep breaths, go back to work. So making those little micro breaks throughout the day. Then when you do that consistently, day over day, week over week, you start to build that habit. And after you've done that for 3+ weeks, it's not really going to be anything you have to think about. It's just, okay, it's time to do some breathing, or it's time to get up and move.
Oh, I love it, and it makes so much sense, and it's funny because I'm thinking to myself, like, why did I do that? And I'm like, oh, I had to charge it, and then I took it off, and I never put it back on.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh, so then you don't walk for a month because you don't get that little buzz on your wrist. Oh, my gosh, it's craziness. So, Jonathan, I could talk to you about this all day long, but we're about out of time. If somebody's listening to this, and they want more information on Highlands Sport and Spine, I mean, what's the best way for them to reach out and to learn more?
The best way to reach out is probably going to our website, sportandspinehighlands.com. We have a contact us page. You can reach out there with any specific questions or check out our different services that we offer. We also have a presence on Instagram and Facebook, Highlands Sport and Spine, for both of those. And especially right now, we're posting a ton of movement-based content, giving people various exercises that they can be utilizing at home, since a lot of places around the country have stay-at-home orders. So we got to find ways to get creative around the house.
Awesome. Well, hey, Jonathan, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about how we can all create how you're empowering movement and how we can get ourselves moving so that we can keep pain out of our lives, or if we have it, to eliminate that pain. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Business, definitely give us a subscribe there. But also leave us some comments on the video. I mean, love to know what kind of things you're working on and what kind of projects you have going on in your neck of the world. And Jonathan, thanks again for coming on the show.